What are the best ways to save up for a down payment for a house? We have 8 great ideas right here, and we're starting now. So many home buyers, whether they're first-time buyers or second-time buyers, are trying to find ways to scratch and save up a down payment. Sometimes I know it's really difficult to save money when there's always so many other obligations to meet. However, we have 8 ways that you can consider to save that down payment, and we also have a totally free brochure that you can download that outlines all our suggestions. Make sure to subscribe to our channel because we're always posting exciting new videos like this one that can help you on your home buying journey, and we're posting videos every single week. The first way, and in my mind, the #1 way to find or save your down payment, is through your TFSA, your tax-free savings account. Why is this the best? Well, because you can take out as much money as you want at any time from your TFSA without paying taxes, because the taxes were already paid when you put the money into the account. And any gain that was made on the funds that you invested are also tax-free. Plus, unlike an RRSP, you can remove as much of the funds as you want. There's no restriction on how much you can take out at any given time. So it's a great way to start saving some money as you go along. Put it in your TFSA, let it earn money while it's in there in the form of either a capital gain or some dividends or interest. And then when you remove the money to buy your house, it's all tax-free. #2, maybe you have some investments. You would have to check out and ensure you're not paying any stiff penalties to remove your funds. However, if not, cash in a few investments. Maybe that Canada Savings Bond you've had since you were 5 years old that your parents bought for you. It can probably do a whole bunch more good as a down payment for some real estate rather than sitting there gaining very little growth. #3, how about a loan? Maybe a line of credit. If you're a first-time buyer, this likely isn't an option for you because you still have to come up with your 5 or 10% from your own sources. However, if you're looking to buy a second home, you could consult with your banker about potentially withdrawing some equity from your current home. In other words, increasing the amount owing on the current home that you own to make the money and leverage yourself to buy a second home. Then the interest that you pay on the amount that you're using for your down payment is also deducted against any income that you make off the second home. Or the bank may even give you an unsecured loan or line of credit that you could use towards your down payment on your next home. It could be an option if you have good credit and a healthy history with your bank. #4 is using your tax refund. Every now and then people actually get a tax refund. Every little bit counts towards your down payment, and a tax refund is a nice tax-free way of putting a little bit more into the down payment fund. A way of creating a tax refund for yourself is by contributing to your RRSP in that given year, which, depending on your situation and how much tax you prepaid during the year, you could get a nice healthy tax refund of which you could use directly on your down payment. #5 then leads us right into RRSPs. One of the most common ways of finding some extra money for a down payment on your first home, and it has to be your first home, is from your registered retirement savings plan. If you have money in your RRSP, then you can borrow up to $35,000 against your RRSP account tax-free, and the only stipulation is you pay it back over 15 years. It's a good way to find a down payment because you can remove the funds tax-free, and the only negative as compared to, say, your TFSA is that you can only take out a maximum of $35,000, whereas with your TFSA you can take out as much as you want. Plus you have to pay this back. #6 is gifts from family. If someone is willing to gift you a down payment, then the banks will acknowledge this as an acceptable source of down payment. So if you have a nice family member that's willing to give you some money, and it has to be a gift, it can't be a loan that's repayable, then you could well be on your way to saving a whole down payment. #7 is joining with the government as part of the Canadian First-Time Homebuyers Incentive. This is a plan where the government will lend you a down payment for your house of 5 to 10% in return for a 5 to 10% equity stake in the value of your home. So if you borrow, say, $50,000 for 10% on a $500,000 house, and then that house goes up to $1 million, say in 10 years, then you have to repay the government back 10% of the value when you sell, or $100,000. It has to be paid back the sooner of when you sell the house, or 25 years. This plan hasn't been as popular as I think the government thought it would be because it's kind of weird having the government as a stakeholder in your house. However, it is an option if you're interested. And last but not least, #8, this actually isn't a way necessarily to save your first down payment, but it's a good way to save your second. And that is buy a house with, say, 4 bedrooms, live in one, rent out the other 3 in order to 1, pay your current mortgage, and 2, put money aside for a down payment on your second house. Then when you have enough money saved up, buy a second house, move there on your own, leave everyone else behind to rent it, and you have a nice rental property. If you're willing to do something like this, it's a great way to make money. You sacrifice some privacy, of course, to move your real estate portfolio forward in the future. Be sure to download our free folder called Creative Ways to Find Money for Your Down Payment. The link is below, as well as a link to our First Time Buyers website, VernonFirstTimers.com, where we have even more information on all the many first-time buyer incentives that are out there. Happy down payment saving and happy house hunting.